As the Golden State Warriors look to bring an end to their contractual standoff with restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga, the team has now set their sights on bringing the young forward back on a short-term, tradable deal that would allow them to retrieve value later down the line in a trade. Yet, the unfortunate and tragic reality of the situation is that Kuminga still has the opportunity to accept the Warriors' qualifying offer, a path that could lead the organization to lose their prime asset for nothing, but could be the ideal route for a player looking to prove his worth. Kuminga, 22, has long felt undervalued by Golden State's coaching staff, and if he were looking to bet on himself and prove his value to other organizations, accepting the qualifying offer could be a path to a lucrative unrestricted free agency next offseason. Jonathan Kuminga's qualifying offer could be the best route for the young forward. As the Warriors entered the offseason, it was thought that there would be much interest surrounding a potential sign-and trade for Kuminga. Yet, as the market around the league cooled on restricted free agents, almost all of the potential suitors fell away from negotiations. The ones that remained, including the Sacramento Kings and the Phoenix Suns, either refused to or were incapable of providing Golden State's asking price in exchange for parting with their biggest asset this offseason. Now, Kuminga and the organization are stuck in a standoff, with Kuminga having no incentive to sign a new contract until his October 1st deadline for accepting his $7.9 million qualifying offer approaches. According to people familiar with Kuminga's camp, this is still a real option that is being considered, one that would allow Kuminga to have one more season to prove his value. While it is unclear whether this route is just a bluff on the part of Kuminga's agent, accepting a one-year deal could grant the young player the leverage he has sought for his entire career to this point. If the Warriors were to bring back Kuminga, even on a deal as cheap as his qualifying offer, they would need to find a way to incorporate him into the rotation, and when players such as Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler inevitably miss time, Kuminga could get the minutes and scoring opportunities he needs to prove himself as a potential starter in the NBA. Rest assured, if Kuminga's free agency looms over next offseason, rival organizations will be paying close attention to his performance this season, and Kuminga could get revenge on Golden State by taking all the leverage into his own hands with a bold move. Golden State Warriors owner Joe Lacob's son Kent Lacob has quit the team, Marcus Thompson, too, of The Athletic reports. After climbing the ranks to become the Warriors' vice president of basketball development, the younger Lacob has stepped down in what his father described as a ballsy move. Well, that took some balls. Joe Lacob was quoted as telling his son, according to The Athletic. The Warriors owner did not see it coming, but his father's instincts took over, The Athletic report added. But the most startling part of the story is that Kent quit without a backup plan, but was driven by his desire to get out of his father's empire and forge his own path. I'm very curious about what other type of perspective I can gain from stepping outside of that, Kent told The Athletic. I understand how it's attractive in many ways. Yeah, it's very comfortable. And I'm incredibly fortunate to have this. Not by my own doing. But I have stepped into a world that just put me in this situation to have all this around me. I'm incredibly grateful for it. But I also don't think that it necessarily gives me a fully robust perspective on life and what it is that I ultimately am going to want when I, reflect on what I did with my life. Overcoming nepotism criticisms. Kent is leaving his dream job and comfort zone, which also provoked nepotism talk that made him uncomfortable at the same time, but also challenged him. When you're my kids, Joe Lacob told The Athletic, you worry about the nepotism charges, and I understand it. I've been on the other side. I know what it's like to look at the rich kid growing up with all of the advantages and whatever. So, I understand why people say stuff like that. Now, I know my kids aren't that way. Kent climbed the NBA ladder, starting in the G League as the Santa Cruz Warriors general manager. According to The Athletic, some of Kent's front office moves include helping find and develop Juan Toscano Anderson, swinging and missing on Alen Smailagic, and rallying for the signing of Gary Payton II. Warriors Kuminga stalemate. Kent Lacob leaves the Warriors organization, which is at an inflection point. They are the only team that has not added a player of league experience this offseason as they await the resolution of their ongoing stalemate with restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors have deals lined up for league veterans, according to multiple reports, which include Payton, whom Kent Lacob strongly lobbied in the past. However, they cannot make a move until Kuminga accepts their offer to get a better look at their salary books. Kuminga and the Warriors haven't had contact for a couple of weeks, according to Danny Merman of the San Francisco Standard, citing a source with knowledge of the situation. The Warriors' standing offer of a 2-year, $45 million contract with a team option on the second year remains. The deal on the table also includes a stipulation that Kuminga relinquishes the inherent no-trade clause. On the other hand, Kuminga wants a player option on the second year of the deal. Who will blink first? While the majority of the big moves that are going to happen this offseason across the NBA have already been made, there are still several big-name restricted free agents on the board who are playing the waiting game when it comes to their contract negotiations. Perhaps the biggest of the bunch is Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, with the two sides engaging in a months-long standstill in their discussions. With Kuminga showing no interest in returning to the Warriors, they have been linked to several of the other restricted free agents available. However, based on Chicago Bulls forward Matisse Buzelis, it seems like one of those potential targets, guard Josh Giddey, may be coming off the market in the near future. Warriors could be set to miss out on Josh Giddey. Giddey was selected with the number 6 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft by the Oklahoma City Thunder, but he ended up getting boxed out in the team's youth movement. After 3 seasons, he was traded to the Bulls last year, where he ended up earning a bigger role down the stretch of the season after Zach LaVine was traded to the Sacramento Kings. On the surface, the 2024-25 season looks pretty standard for Giddey, as he averaged 14.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per game, while shooting 46.5% from the field. From the month of February on, though, Giddey took a major step forward. In his final 25 games of the campaign, Giddey averaged 20.2 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 8.1 assists per game while hitting 49.1% of his shots. In the process, Giddey showed that he and Coby White may just be Chicago's backcourt of the future. However, the Bulls have been unable to re-sign Giddey, with his free agency dragging out the same way Kuminga's has. While the Warriors aren't over the moon about potentially re-signing Kuminga, reports have indicated that they could be interested in finding a way to bring Giddey to town. The most likely scenario has always been that Giddey would return to the Bulls, and it seems like he may be close to doing so. On Wednesday night, Buzelis shared a post on a second Instagram account tagging Giddey alongside a pen and paper emoji, seemingly implying that a deal could be close to getting signed. Where should Warriors turn if they miss out on Josh Giddey? Golden State's off-season plans have been slowed down significantly due to their negotiations with Kuminga. Having that hovering over their head has made it tough to pursue someone like Giddey, and it's also held up their negotiations with free agents like Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton, both of whom reportedly have verbal agreements in place with the Warriors. Regardless of whether the team makes a late push for Giddey, the front office has to figure out what to do with Kuminga. Neither side has budged to this point, and unless something changes dramatically in the near future, there's no end in sight with this stalemate. Giddey would certainly be a great target for the Warriors, but it seems like the team has bigger fish to fry right now.